So thank you. So let us start today's agenda, data-driven insights in pharma industry. So thanks for the team for giving us the opportunity to talk in this conference. So as you saw in the previous video, you might have shown like it is touched different domains, different areas, and at the end it was talking about convergence, like a physics-based simulations to data analytics and high performance computing. So we have all these broad portfolio of products, around 100 plus products in different segments. We try to bring that unique convergence of data analytics, high performance computing, and simulations to build a digital twin system, which Srijay was talking about in his previous session. So let us talk about today's agenda, because most of you from the pharma industry, so we have to understand how data analytics can bring value in the pharma industry. So today we'll talk about few cases, but majorly pharma industry looking in like how they can build a better drug and faster, so that they can save the cost of drug development time. According to recently, I was studying one Post magazine. It was telling that for a new drug design, it costs more than $1 billion. So and it takes a lot of time, and in the kind of current COVID situation, you want to fast forward your like a vaccination you are modeling, or you are preparing a medicine for that, how you can fast address that market. So you have to fast aggregate like data models so that you can reduce number of trials. Similarly, when you finally, once you design the drug, you have for the trialing, doing the clinical efficacy trials. So how you can reduce with less number of trials, you can build confidence on that drug. So using data analytics again here helps. Like you can collaborate data from the different organizations and different segments of customer segments, the audience segments, and build efficacy models with data models. Finally, if you are looking for improving the processes in manufacturing the product, how you can reduce the number of the rejections, quality rejections at the end of the production line, or how you can improve the your machine running status, like the predictive maintenance. All these cases can be addressed under real-time process monitoring and improving overall equipment effectiveness. And finally, everybody is looking for to build a digital twins. So digital twin is nothing but a digital replica of your physical asset, and you could run the you pass the parameters, real-time parameters, what you take from the physical asset to your digital model, and generate insights in the real time. So when we talk about data analytics, this goes through this value chain. So everybody, most of the industries, pharma industries already at this stage, means they have achieved, so they have taken a lot of their clinical trials data, test lab data, the test data, and they integrated and building some diagnostic dashboards and generate insights from that. Now they are planning to do like how they can use the data to build a predictive model. So they can predict what can happen in and they can reduce number of trials, or they can reduce number of customer trials, or they can build some models like predict the quality before it completely manufacturing cycle ends. So this is like predictive analytics, and most of the organizations are at this stage. For my information, because I interact with many of the pharma industries. And now everybody is trying to hear, like whenever you find that there is some anomaly, or whether you find that you want to achieve the targeted CQAs as per your IPQA, and what are the critical process parameters, how you can reduce number of trials, and quickly you can find out the optimum parameters for that. So everybody is working on this to achieve that. So this completes the value chain. So we'll talk about that one by one case. So first case is critical process parameter optimization. So what the solution approach is that you have a lot of historical data, and they are in different silos. So you take that, aggregate all those data. The data consists of CPPs, CQAs, CMS, critical process parameters, critical quality attribute, critical material attributes. You can collate them and join them, and finally create a cleaned up data. Then you build some exploratory data analytics system. so that you can understand that which CPPs are highly influencing your required CQS, and how each CPP is correlated to each other. So because if you take correlated CPPs, your regression model will not perform very well. So always you have to drop down. If your correlation very high, you have to drop some CPPs. So all this do in the part of data exploration phase. Once your data exploration is done and you found that critical CPPs, then you build a predictive model for predicting the CQS for new set of CPPs, so that you can reduce your number of trials in the lab. Then once you have, so do that, then there are like you have historical data, but you don't have labeled that. So how you you can build some clustering models using the predictive regression model. In the previous session, you got the the predictive results. Using that, you can build some models and label that as a good or bad. Then once you label the data is there, and then you build a supervised classification model to predict that whenever a new batch of CPPs comes, for that whether that batch is a good batch or a bad batch, you can classify that using a database model. And finally, the goal is that finding the optimum CPPs. You have a golden batch with some CQA requirements. So how you can build some local surface response method or global surface response method to find out the optimum CPPs for target CQS. So to do that, this is the workflow we follow. Like first, as I said, you generate the data, do some exploratory data analytics, then build the machine learning model and validate the machine learning model. So for doing that, Altair has a Knowledge Studio platform, which is a self-service data science platform, which is a low-code, no-code platform. Means if you don't have a lot of knowledge on the programming, like a data scientist required Python, R, or Octave kind of programming, without that, you can use the already readily available supervised and unsupervised deep learning models. You can connect it and build your workflows. You can train your ML model. Then you can validate your ML model. And finally, the beauty is that this platform will generate the code for you. It will based on your requirement where you want to deploy. It can generate Python, R, SQL, Java code for you, which you can take it and deploy the predictive model wherever you want on a third-party application, on a real-time visualization application. So once you have predictive analytics part is done, then we'll go to you take that model and integrate with the optimization engine, where will you build do the prescriptive analytics. So for Altair, we have a HyperStudy, which is our optimization engine. There are different optimization models are already available here. So you integrate this, you set up your target CQS here as your objective function, and CPPs as your parameters, variables, design variables, and you run different optimization algorithms and find out that what is the best CPPs for achieving that target CQS. So that completes the prescriptive analytics. So now you can build, prescribe that. You can reduce number of test cycles, and with the data models, predictive and prescriptive models, you can find out quickly and fast forward that process. So just this is the normal standard process. You do some exploratory data analytics, then you find that which are the and you do some correlations, and if your data has some outliers, you have to find out and remove those outliers. And after doing all these exploratory data analytics, then you can build a machine learning model. This is a snapshot from our Knowledge Studio, which is I was talking about a self-service data science platform, which is a workflow-driven platform. So you can just drag and drop and connect your data, then build it. You have already different supervised and unsupervised learning models. You can connect it, you can train your model, validate your model, and find out that which is the best model for your data. And finally, generate the code from that, which will help, which can be deployed on a application where you want to predict. So when this real-time this setup you want to deploy as a process, standard process for all your different drug designs, you can follow this process. You can collect all the different data silos, which for each experiment, each drug level experiments from each processes, like you talk about blending, granulometry, and all the parameters. You take it and push it to a database. And that for so when you have to pushing it to a database, there will be data will be not clean. So you can use a data preparation tool Monarch to extract the structured data out of all these different sources. Once data is come in a structured format, clean data, then you can build with Knowledge Studio predictive analytics model. So you can develop different models with using your historical data, and then that model you can deploy in your. If you want to build a predictive model, a prescriptive model, you can use HyperStudy, and HyperStudy can generate the optimum CPPs, which can be sent into your processes for required CQS. So this is the complete solution deployment, and this standard process you can follow for any of your drug designs. So we will talk about some other use cases which related to Industry 4.0 kind of use cases, how you can overall improve the OE, operational equipment effectiveness. So here we have taken, when you say overall equipment effectiveness, it takes 3 parameters: availability, efficiency, and quality. So we have considered here only one quality attribute here. So we are real-time monitoring the process, and the goal is that this company produces some tablets. The tablet requires, first it will go through a process to create that powder, and that powder will go to the manufacturing the tablet, and that powder should be of some quality requirement for the size. And if that size is not meeting, then they have to reject that whole lot. And one lot, when I say that, it is like the whole process is around 700 minutes. So if you are rejecting that, you are wasting 700 minutes of time and all the material and manpower, all the resources. So it is a huge cost for the company. So what we have done, that we have built a real-time system. We are connected to that manufacturing setup through a OPC server. Directly we are streaming the real-time data from the different, it is going through a crystallizer, it is going through a crusher, it is going through a mixer, dryer, crystallizer. So from every step we are taking the data from that asset. Then we have, for building a machine learning model, you need a lot of historical data. So for that, we have taken 2000 batches of data, and from that each data we have extracted some required information required for machine learning model building. Then once model is built with Knowledge Studio, we take that machine learning model and deploy it on real-time visualization platform. So now we are, these are the different parameters we are taking just for the confidentiality sake. We just anonymized material A1, A2, B1, B2 kind of, but in a real scenario, you can put those real names, and we are taking reactor, crystallizer, catalyzer, dryer, crusher. For each stage, we are taking some parameters, and final our goal is that to predict the output quality of the product. At each stage, we are predicting that. So this is like one batch of data which we are taking, which is a 7 minute, 100 minute data, and we are taking it sample at each minute, you can see. And obviously, when it is going through the reactor, it is a sequential process. So first it will take the reactor, going through a reactor. So it is reactor data is there till that time. Just other it is not other processes are empty, so it is not taking any data. So in that way, as I said, that 700 minutes. So it takes till 700 minutes data at each 1 minute interval rate. So once we aggregate 2000 batches of data, we are getting extracting the parameters from each batch. So let's suppose we have got 700 minute data. We are getting the average dryer speed, average drying temperature, pressure speed. In that way, for each trial, we are to one batch, we are getting the data as one row, and we created the structured data. And this data we are taking for building the machine learning model. So this is your physical process in the process flow of it. And we have connected to the sensors using a OPC server. We are taking the data and visualizing with the Altair Panopticon. And we are taking the same data and pushing it to a database. That data, we are processing it because you have to do some cleanup, and you have to extract some features from that. After doing that features, extracting those features, you take that data into Knowledge Studio for building the machine learning model and generate the code from that, which can be deployed on top of real-time monitoring system. So this is like the decision tree. I just some snapshots, and this is the like model accuracy and confusion metrics and statistics. All these things, snapshots are from Knowledge Studio. So as it is a self-service tool, so all these things from starting from the data ingestion, model building, model training, and model validation, everything you can do through the platform, and you can see the results. So this is the final the dashboard, real-time dashboard, and this can be monitored from remotely from anywhere through a tab browser. It can be through a tab, or it can be from your mobile, or it can be from a laptop. And this goes through this process as I was showing you the process flow. It is a sequential process: reactor, crystallizer, mixer, dryer, crusher. And it is at each stage it is showing the probability of the output. If it is green, then the quality of the output will be good, and if it is red, it is bad. And for as this process is 700 minutes, for the demo purpose, I just elevated the speed by 240 times so that I can demo it in 3 minutes. And you can see that each counter, just I put it for demo purpose, so that it will each counter is like 1 minute. So 311 means 311 minutes. Because of I elevated the speed by 240 times, it is going very fast. And when you see that there are 3 dashboards: monitoring dashboard, analysis dashboard, and backtest or what if analysis dashboard. 3 dashboards I have built. You can build any number of dashboards here. And this dashboard can be customized according to your requirement. It is not a fixed dashboard. This is a OTC platform. So you can design your dashboard is the BI platform. And you can see that these are some metadata which I am taking from different sources. I am putting here what are the material, solvent, catalyzer used. I am putting here, and what is some metadata related to what date, time, and what is the batch number. All these things I am putting here. So let's suppose it predicted, and at the batch, like you can anytime like it is bad batch. Then what you can do is that you can do at what stage it is there. It is the reactor stage. Then you have a control to change the reactor temperature. So you can change this reactor temperature, and you can improve the process. If it is at the crystallizer space, then whether you have to reduce the crystallizer cooling rate, or whether you have to increase the crystallizer cooling rate. If it is a dryer stage, you can increase the dryer temperature or reduce the dryer temperature. So these, because some of the parameter things like you cannot control. Let's suppose material, solvent, and catalyst. Those material attributes you cannot control. That is whatever the came. So according to that, if you don't real time predict the quality and take the action, you have only option that at the end of the process only you have to take action. That time either you have to reject that whole lot, or again you have to go through the same process. So it is a like wastage of energy. So you are trying to save, save that rejection rate. So here the customer is like about to say 90% quality rejections, which was happening earlier. He was able to reduce it. So it is a huge cost saving. Means you can, if you think about a return on investment perspective, like the whole return on investment can come in maximum in 1 year. And this can be extended to here only I have taken quality, but it can be extended to predictive maintenance, health monitoring, condition monitoring for different other use cases too. So the last use case, digital twin use case, means how we can use, everywhere industry are looking for building a digital replica of their physical asset. And here Altair has, as I was talking in the initially, the convergence of data as well as physics-driven simulation models. We have both platforms. So how you can integrate both to build a predictive as well as prescriptive system in a real time. So you take, just it is a process. You take it, you have the physical asset, you connect that, take the real-time data, monitor the data, and you can once you have a lot of historical data, you push to a data storage time series DB. And from that, you can take the data and build a predictive or forecasting model, and you can deploy on a real-time system to see that health of, what is the currently in the previous case, you are monitoring the quality. If you are building a predictive maintenance kind, you can monitor the health of the machine. And if you find that machine is not behaving good or quality is not good, then you can run a simulation model, and you can pass the real-time data, what is coming from the system to here, and build a recommendation system. So you can send the prescriptions, to the physical asset to correct that situation. Let's suppose you find some anomaly, you pass the real-time parameters to that, you build, analyze that and send the prescription to the physical asset. So this is like a database twin as well as simulation-based twin. And so you can completely building the not only real-time monitoring of asset, you are building a prescription system also. So to show, give you some use cases in the pharma industry. This is a high shear granulator mixer. It is the physical asset. And let's suppose you find some, you're connected to through a IoT platform, and you are taking the data and you are stored, build a data analytics model with taking the operational data and build a data analytics model. And anytime you found some anomaly, so what action to be taken? You can build, you can build a simulation digital replica of that. You can simulate it and take the prescriptions from there, and you can pass it to the system. So this completely, if you build, say for the real-time system, it runs a physical asset, you are building a digital replica, and real-time you are monitoring and giving, improving the operational effectiveness. So that completes the digital twin platform system.
Mr. Srinivas,
so for that,
I hate to interrupt, but we're running really short on time, and we would request you to kindly.
This is the last slide.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Perfect. So this for building that system, you need a IoT platform, you need a DA platform, data analytics platform, you need building a self-service machine learning platform, then you need a simulation platform, you need a surrogate model platform where you can build reduced order models because CA models will take a lot of time. And finally, you can build a co-simulations. So this is completes the, you need all these things for building a digital platform, which Altair has all these platforms which can help you to build a digital platform. Thank you.